Hello? 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 Hi. Hi. Are you ready to get conspiratorial with me? Are you? I'm sorry for the delay. It was my meatballs. I fed them early because I wanted to stream for like an hour and a half. Not 3 hours, probably. Maybe. Just an hour and a half because I have a day. Loompa, doobody doo. I've got a perfect puzzle for you. And if you would look at it, you will see it's a pyramid! Always has been. Always has been. Oh yeah, anyway. That's what I got going on today. I got some chicken. I'm not short, I'm a giant. You guys are gonna stop calling me short. You're gonna regret those words. Aren't they? One second. I'm messaging Charlotte. Wait. Okay. Alright, I'm back. You guys see, by the way? Charlotte told me she loved me. She basically confessed her undying, unending, eternal love for me. I'm gonna eat this chicken. I'm gonna watch the video. Watching today. Well, I'm watching today. Wow, a lot of you are here to get conspiratorial. Wow. Who did I see? Wait, make sure my doesn't hit the... Wait. Hey, alright. She confessed her undying, unending love for me. Yes, I saw it cut out. I'm sorry. I hope I fixed it. I'm talking right at the mic. My cats are a wee bit wily. A wee bit. So I hope you don't hear them. Let me know if you hear any, anything that sounds like... anything like that. Make sure you let me know if you hear anything like that. Yeah, did you hear that? Hello? Sorry, hello? Hi, Reina, hi. Hello. Welcome to my stream of I'm gonna eat this chicken. Let me see how long our video is. I just picked the first one that looked interesting. And I was like, okay, this one looks like I can get real conspiratorial. But first, we gotta get this shared. And first, I need my tinfoil hat. Oh, this is 43 minutes? Yeah, we'll start in like 10 minutes. Let me finish eating. Yosh. a flash picture? Yes. I will take a picture of it today. I promise I will. I promise I will. Get out of here, Nami! Hi, Nami. I'm eating chicken before we start talking about giants. I can't believe I lost my tinfoil hat again. Where did it go? I had all these. May I offer you a chicken leg? Or maybe thigh? And before I forget, I said what yesterday? Oh, that I post. No, but I really will. I really will. I posted the other stuff first, but I will. I will post your gift. I promise. I love it. It's sitting right here. He's looking at me so cutely. In a chicken's view, we are all giants. Wow, that's such poetry. That's so true. Wow. That's quite profound. I found it! Wait, I gotta put this in quick access. Oh, I can't pin it to quick access. I'm gonna put it right here. It's perfect! It's the perfect size! It's perfect! That way they can't get me through my eyes. It's beautiful. It's perfect. I'm ready. All right. Let me eat this chicken. Wait, I can't see my chicken. Wait. From Reina and government and all the psychic alien waves. It's rotisserie chicken that I got. Can you guess what I'm eating with my chicken? Can all the true fans tell me what I'm eating with my chicken? Anyone who knows me knows I gotta have this. Kevin, shut up! Kevin, no! It's not Brock! Wow, you guys are really letting me down right now. You're really letting me down. It's not broccoli! Give me serious answers! More chicken. Wow. It's some of that delicious sweet baby rays. I should have said it was a sauce and you guys would have got it for sure. I know you will. Find what you learned, Reina. Clearly never. Never. Sweet baby rays. Yeah, it's me slurping up the sweet baby rays. That was your second guess. I believe you. Ultimate side dish. No, sweet baby rays goes with chicken. It goes with chicken. My obsession knows no bounds. Oh shit. And I have a nice tall glass of water because I love water. Yeah, it goes with everything. What's that? Yeah, I should have said sauce, and I know you would have got it. So. Are you good? And if not, will you get good? There's no way to know how to get past this bad boy. This tinfoil hat will protect me from all the waves. Get good. I failed you. I'm sorry. You're good? Ice? Oh my goodness. So how was your day, you guys? What'd you do? What have you been up to? I'm just eating, and then we're gonna get into the craziness. We're gonna start in about 5 minutes. So, if you've never been in one of these streams before, there are 3 things you need to know. Sorry. The first one. It's always aliens. Always aliens. All the time. Okay? Prepping a trailer. Oh, that sounds fun. Actually, it sounds kind of boring. The stream is better. Hang out with us instead. Hang out with me instead. Boo, trailer. Yeah, it's always pyramids. There's number 2. Yeah, so step 1 is aliens. It's always aliens. Step 2, it's always pyramids. Can everyone guess what step 3 is? I'll let the experts here decide what step 3 is. How about that? You guys come up with the third rule. I want to kind of change the rules of my channel. I think I want to do it here. I'm gonna change the rules of my channel for when people join. How stupid can we get? It's always demons. Step 3 is blame Kevin. Yeah, we'll take a poll on what step 3 is. Now wait. Anyone who joins will have to know our rules that we created in our democracy. Okay, so blame Kevin, your mama, all of them weather balloons. Yeah, that's kind of very specific to the last one, Genji. I don't know. The moon's not real, so we're not including it because it's obvious. Duh, Jake, come on! It's not real! Why would we mention it? Demons? Question mark. Okay. Alright. We're gonna do a poll. What is our 3rd rule? Okay, wait. Okay, so I saw Yo Mama, but demons? Question mark? No, we're not gonna blame Reina. You're not blaming me. There we go. I made my own. There are 3 of yours and 1 of mine. Yeah, it's never Reina's fault. Oh, that's a good one. I should have put that in there. Blame Kevin. I can't blame a viewer in our rules.
Ding dong, you got a donation.
Honestly, thanks for the donation. This is his birthday. Also, tinfoil hats can protect you from this. No! Not the donation waves. No! You're right. I'm dumb. I forgot to change that. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you for the donation. Hate the number. Appreciate the donation. Wait a second. Wait. Okay, wait. Alright, I thought I forgot a donation, but I think I didn't. I waited until you finished the poll to say, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Why would you wait? It's such a good number. It's not. Cruel? Yes, it's rather cruel. You voted for butt? It's always butt. I'm not doing the poll again. Guys are a bunch of dorks. Oh yeah, I forgot. Are you wanting to protect yourself from psionic waves, from potential aliens and pyramids? And butts? Are you? Are you in need of protecting? Is your brain in danger of imploding from alien waves? Is it? Well, if it is, make sure that you get yourself the full set of Reina merchandise. Full set right here. Look at this mouse pad. This mouse pad, it will not only protect your head, but it will also protect your wrist. Look at that. Oh, razzle dazzle. You rest your bad boy, your wrist from this bad boy on these cheeks, and you're in business. And the sushi is just cute. It's just sushi. Get yourself a Reina face cheek pad today. I promise it'll protect you from the aliens that are inevitably coming to our planet. Your planet. I'm from the underworld, but I guess I'm here. What's cheeks? Clearly it is the front cheeks. The front upper cheeks. Are boobs cheeks? Do boobs count as cheeks? Front upper cheeks. Get it right now. Get your merch made from 100% free tinfoil. Get it right now. Buy it while it lasts. It's limited edition. Make sure you get it. What? It's a question. Are you telling me you don't know? I come to you guys for this stuff. You don't want to know these things.
Ding dong, you got donation.
You're so dumb. This donation runs up to 3. It doesn't. My tummy hurts. Stop. Oh my god. Anything's a cheek with the right attitude. Man, does that mean that my eyebrows are cheeks? Look at these physics. Oh yeah. Oh man, Zooey mama, that's the stuff. Look at it go. Wait, I can do even more. Wow. That's the physics you want, right? Right? You don't need this. You don't need this. Wow. Wow. Groovy. Miss Pillar. Don, thank you for the super chat. What is 8008 cheek? Never heard of that one. sure it's probably a thing. Yeah, I guess you could say I'm rather cheeky. That's a good one, Proto. I gotta give you points. That was a good one. Cheeky. Ah, okay. I'm not even done eating. Stop distracting me. Shut up. Boo! That wasn't my joke. You're booing a fellow sunray. Okay? That's pretty cold. That's pretty cold, Miguel. Why you gotta be so rude? Don't you know they're human too? Imagine being good at jokes. I don't have to imagine because my humor is impeccable. See, I can't even say that without laughing. That's how funny I am. I don't know how to do math. Okay. 3 69 plus 51. 69 plus 31. 0. 20. Is that right? Did I do it? Did I do it? I think I did it. Is it 4? It's 4. Oh no! No! Tinfoil hat didn't prepare me for this. Why? The pyramid was too strong. Oh god. Unforgivable. Inconceivable. Let me tweet that I'm live, I guess. Ow. Yeah, I need a tinfoil suit. What would a brain suit be? Would it just be a brain with my face on it that I could wear? That could be really adorable or really cursed. Okay, wait. What should I say? Click to wake up, sheep. Where did it go? It's perfect. Hi guys, what's up? It's me, Scares here. Don't go back to sleep. Redeem mats. No. Okay. Sorry, I'm eating so slow. It's because you guys keep distracting me. Good night if you're going to bed. Goodbye. Goodbye. But wait. If I get this bad boy up. You have a demon to watch. But you gotta go to sleep. Yeah, it is. It's your fault. It's Chad's fault for being so cute. Stop it. Kevin, why are you like this? The red arrow really sells it. Nice thumbnail, demon. My random red arrow. Don't call me out on my random red arrow. Why are we here? Just to suffer? Of course I saw. I just tweeted it, Kevin. Of course I saw it. Hi, Franklin. Marked it. Okay, this is a video. No, I messed up. Here's the video. Forbidden archaeology, lost giants of America. What? Giants? Sign me up. I too am gigantic. I too am 30 feet tall. I understand them. But I thought giants were only in New York. That's is it football? Baseball. I know it's not basketball. Baseball. Feet? It's football? Yeah, I watch Wi-Fi's. Did you not see, Miguel? We did an 8-hour stream watching conspiracy theories. It's if not, you should check it out. It's pretty funny. Basketball. Basketball. Fit for free? No, we didn't start the video yet. I am about to start right now. Whoa, I'm way over. Why didn't anyone say anything? We just... Oh yeah, I have cake for my birthday. Wait. Don't worry, I'm gonna eat it while we watch. Let me get the thing up. Okay. I'm gonna just name this film capture Why? And that's it. No, I'm not paying for YouTube. Who does that? Sorry if anyone pays for YouTube. It always asks me, do you want a free trial? And I'm like, no. Because why? I know myself. And I know I'll forget. And that's how they get you. That's another conspiracy. YouTube. It's another conspiracy, people. Wake up. I love these streams. They're just so stupid. How do people watch this? Real quiet. Oh, wait. There we go. The giant conspiracy. Hi, welcome! I'm having a wonderful time. I hope that you're having a good time too. Thank you so much for coming. You watched this one already? Pretend you haven't. Pretend you haven't. Okay, okay. How do you think he would feel if he knew an anime girl was watching streams and making fun of his fish on the internet? You think he'd be like a little confused? VTubers were the real conspiracy all along. Cause you're here because stupid and stupid is funny. That's my brand. I showed my mom the mouse pad and she just went, why? She's like, why? Why, Reina? Why? It's not a phase, Mom! I'm really this dumb! Are VTubers real? Why? As my first conspiracy. Alright. I'm gonna keep the music playing, but I'm gonna keep it low. Okay? Okay.
This episode of the Y-Files is brought to you by the Hecklefish Talking Plushie.
Oh my god!
Yes, that's a thing.
I want it!
In 1886, mining engineer John T. Reed was told the Paiute legend about a race of giants. Giants
like
who,
me.
after a long and bloody war,
Me.
were defeated by the natives near
I'm gonna get my
Lovelock Cave,
cake.
Nevada.
I'm not gonna pause it.
Reed's belief in this legend
Tell me what it
showed
is.
great interest in the secrets held within Lovelock Cave. Official excavations were undertaken in both 1912 and 1924 by the University of California, with reports telling of thousands of artifacts being recovered. Of these artifacts, the most puzzling were human remains.
You don't want a flash?
Well, they were almost human.
What did I miss?
Skeletons measuring between 8 and 10 feet tall were said to be found during the dig. Skeletons belonging to who are now known as the Lovelock Giants. Legends of
Lovelock?
people of enormous size are
Yeah,
told
bet.
across a myriad of cultures. And despite what we've been told by mainstream science, there is
the volume
evidence to
good when I
suggest
talk?
they really existed. The remains of giants have been found all over the US and all over the world. So why aren't these amazing finds on display in any museum, or taught in any classes,
Yeah.
or mentioned in any history books?
Yeah!
That's because the existence of giants, for some reason, has been covered up.
These segues are so funny.
To say giants don't turn up in history books isn't exactly accurate.
Oh?
Many ancient cultures refer to giants. In Indian mythology,
This
or the
cake is pretty
Vedas,
good.
there was a time called the Satya Yuga, or the Golden Age, when all of humanity existed in complete harmony. Humans
What?
during this time were believed to be 32
And then I
feet
came
tall.
and ruined
In the Old
it.
Testament, there are beings called the Nephilim, and they're mentioned in Genesis.
There were giants
I know a couple Nephilims. They're alright.
And also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them. The same became mighty men which were of old. Men of
I turned the video up a little
One
bit.
interpretation of this suggests that the sons of God were giant fallen angels who seduced human women, and their offspring were the Nephilim.
Well, how does a giant seduce a human woman? Oh, right.
Giants show up quite a bit in the Book of Enoch,
I don't-
one of the religious texts found among the Dead Sea Scrolls. The Nephilim were said to have been men of the old times who existed before the Great Flood. Ancient
Ooh.
Indian texts say the same thing. The Book of Samuel also introduces us to one of the most
the fish
famous
talks.
giants in history,
Andre?
Goliath.
Ah.
Goliath was a Philistine warrior who challenged the Israelites to send out a champion for single combat. David, armed only with a slingshot and faith in God, brought the giant down with a single stone. Goliath was said to be between 7 and 11 feet tall
Yeah,
and
that's just a
possibly
VTuber.
descended from a people known as the Anakites or the Anakim. And the Anakim were descended from the Nephilim. But references to giants in history go back even further. The ancient Sumerians had an equivalent to the Anakim, a race of gods who are sometimes described as giants.
Anunnaki!
Yep, the Anunnaki.
What?
And if you don't know
What is
who
that?
the Anunnaki are, here's a hint. Look in the mirror.
What? No, I'm a demon. But you, look in the mirror. Look in the mirror. Skywalker.
According to interpretations of ancient Sumerian and Babylonian texts, the Anunnaki were a race of extraterrestrial beings from the planet Nibiru. Now, Nibiru is not some distant planet on the other side of the galaxy, but is right here in our own solar system. It passes near Earth every 3,600 years. And this extraplanet
Younger
theory
Dryas!
was
I don't know, I'm just
dismissed as
throwing
pseudoscience for
out
many
stuff.
years. But it's now widely believed that there is an extraplanet or some kind of large object
What is
in the
some
far
good
reaches
words?
of our solar system. In fact, NASA has been searching for this object for years.
Oh,
They
look
call
at
it
it!
Planet 9 or Planet X.
Oh, they can't give Zechariah Sitchin any credit, eh?
They won't admit that, but I bet it's a big part of it. In 2015, Caltech researchers thought
So,
they found evidence for this.
Nephilim are half angels, right? So he's saying these half angels were giants? How can you be both?
Planet. And in 2016, they said
Angels
they
on.
were all
Have you seen? Let's just take him. Have you seen how short Nana is? Angels aren't giants. They're not giants. They're tiny little things. You've seen her. She's like. There's no way angels aren't. I've seen plenty of angels. None of them are giants.
almost sure the planet was
Fake!
out there. And then in 2017, researchers agreed that data and computer models prove with almost 100% certainty a large, secret, dark planet is lurking in the distant solar system. And they expect this to be confirmed within the next few years. And perhaps then we'll finally learn if this could actually be planet
Everyone's a giant.
Nibiru, home of the Anunnaki. Now, according to the
Pluto?
tablets, when the atmosphere on Nibiru started to
I'm a demon.
deteriorate, the Anunnaki came to Earth for resources, specifically water and especially gold. And after their slaves rebelled, the Anunnaki needed a new workforce. And they performed genetic experiments on different Earth animals to try to create
Whoa.
a new slave race. Eventually, they were successful.
Sucks for you
By
guys.
splicing DNA from the Anunnaki with cavemen called Homo erectus, a new species emerged, Homo sapiens. In Sumerian
guys.
and Babylonian texts, this new species was called the first men, or Adamu, and the Hebrews translated this to be men of Adam.
Most of the complete.
The first men were
It was
bred to work for the
fun!
Anunnaki.
Thank you
The
for
Hebrew
asking.
word avad means work for. Avad also means worship. And so humans worshipped their gods, the Anunnaki, who were giants compared to puny humans.
Thanks for asking,
Though it was
Yo-Yos.
forbidden, some Anunnaki bred with humans, and their offspring became known as the Nephilim. Now, obviously, the story of the Anunnaki needs its own episode. So if
There's
you'd like to
way
see
too much
that-
frosting on this cake.
If you'd like to see that, let me know. The tablets
This
say
is
the
like
next
mostly
time Nibiru
frosting. I'm
passed
eating
near the
around
inner
it.
solar system, it caused severe electromagnetic disturbances. Dark spots appeared on the sun, and waves of color streaked the sky. This is referring to extreme aurora borealis and australis, indicating a weakening of the Earth's magnetic field. With less protection from the sun's energy, the ice caps melted and a great
Yeah,
flood
it's like
swept
in
across
the
entire
buttercream
planet.
frosting.
To escape the devastation, the Anunnaki boarded skyships with their gold and returned to Nibiru. But on Earth, Great cities were destroyed and sunk beneath the waves. When the waters finally receded, only a small number of humans were.
You guys know though, like real talk. Sorry, I was eating cake. Did you guys know that there's like stories of great floods in pretty much all literature, like ancient literature, religious literature, all of them meant. Did you? Nope. But like, there's a great flood always mentioned, and I always thought that was kind of funny. They're like, people from all different walks of life from all over the world have very similar stories. I don't know. I just always thought that was weird. You know, I thought that was pretty weird. And I was like, this is no way that everybody's just like talking out their butt, you know?
left to rebuild civilization. And this creation myth is told in almost every culture
Oh
on
my
Earth.
god! That's
And
so
recently,
funny!
we're starting to discover evidence that a great
promise I
flood
haven't seen
did
this one.
indeed occur.
I
But
swear
what
I
about
haven't seen
evidence
this
of
one. I
giants?
promise you.
Well, there is
I
evidence,
promise.
and some of that evidence has been found right here in our own backyard.
Well, no, floods are real, but it's like a great flood.
Many Native American tribes tell of the long-forgotten existence of a race of humans that were much taller and stronger and sometimes more cruel than ordinary men. The Choctaw tribe has a legend about the Nahulo, a race
Whoa.
of giants who ate human flesh. The Choctaw killed these giants whenever they could.
Titans?
Eventually, those giants were driven west.
They're titans.
The Paiute settled in the Nevada desert thousands of years ago.
Anime is real.
And passed down the story of a race of red-haired giants called the Sitka. And the Sitka literally means tule eaters. And tule is a strong type of reed
Shut
found in
up!
swamps. Legend says the giants built rafts out of tule and arrived in Nevada thousands of years ago. But tule wasn't the only thing that the giants ate. Like the Nahulo, Sitka also ate humans. The
Don't worry,
Sitka
I won't eat
waged
you
war
guys.
on the Paiute and all other neighboring tribes.
Oh my god, that's me! Not that one, the other one. That was me! Did you guys
The
see?
tribes fought bravely, but the giants were too strong. The Sitka would often eat the people
That's one of my cousins. Say hi.
captured in battle. So after years of conflict, the tribes united, and that turned the tide of war. And in the
Told you
final
guys I'm
battle,
giant.
the red-haired giants were driven into a cave. The tribes stuffed the cave entrance with sticks and brush and set it ablaze. The last remaining Sitka either suffocated or burned alive. Sarah Winnemucca Hopkins, daughter of Chief Winnemucca, was the first to write down and print the story of the Sitka. But she said this wasn't a legend, it was history. She even wore red hair taken from a giant.
Yeah, you
woven
don't
into
just
some of
see
her
the
clothes.
demon horns.
When mining
Every
engineer
single
John T. Reed heard the story in 1886, he asked to be taken to the cave, the final resting place of the Sitka giants. Reed wasn't able to finance the excavation of the cave at
Ask me
that
if
time.
ancient
but when
giants are
valuable
single.
bat guano
What
was
is wrong
discovered,
with you?
People started digging.
Bat guano.
Yep, it was used to make gunpowder and explosives.
No, I mean,
Ew.
what is bat guano?
Oh, guano is the waste of bats and birds.
You can make explosives out of
Ew.
You can.
Okay. Do me a favor. When you clean my boat, can you save it for me? 4th of July's coming up. I'm gonna make fireworks.
I'm not saving your. I'm not saving that for fireworks.
Fine. Then to celebrate, I'll just light my farts.
You better not.
Why do you hate your country?
Lovelock Cave was excavated in 1912 and in 1924. And in 1929, the findings were published and they were surprising.
Yeah, I'll
Well,
turn
they
up a
weren't
little.
surprising to the Paiute.
Is
At
that
the
good?
entrance to the cave, there was evidence of extreme scorching. At some point, a fire burned very hot and for a very long time. On one of the cave
Single
walls,
time.
an enormous handprint was found. Inside
Yeah, guano's toxic. It's like they were trying to make people sick on top of everything. Handling that could not have been good.
the cave, over 10,000 artifacts were recovered,
You
including
wanna know who
many
else
human
made? You wanna know who created guano? Demons. Sorry, my bad. Our bad.
bones. Some of the bones showed that marrow had been removed, a sign of possible cannibalism. A sandal was found that would have fit someone who wore a size 29 shoe and would have been over 8 feet tall. And clothing was found that was too big to fit a normal-sized human. During the first dig, it was reported that the mummified remains of 2 giants were found, a female almost 7 feet tall and a male almost 9 feet tall, and both had red hair. In addition to the initial findings, Even more evidence exists in Lovelock Cave and its surrounding area. According to a 1931 article published in a Nevada newspaper, 2 giant skeletons had been found buried in a dry lake bed close to Lovelock Cave, Nevada.
Were these giant gingers too?
Yep, they also had red hair. But giants weren't just found in the Nevada desert. They were found from coast to coast. Apparently, long before native tribes arrived, America was the land of the giants.
We getting it, boys.
In Peebles, Ohio, the Great Serpent Mound is a 1,370-foot-long prehistoric effigy mound. Nobody knows why it was built, but due to a nearby meteor impact crater, the area is full of gravitational and magnetic anomalies. Some researchers, like Richard Hamilton, believe the location for Serpent Mound was chosen specifically because of these anomalies. And for many years, there have been stories of freak weather patterns, UFO sightings, and strange lights in the area. And also found near Serpent Mound, the remains of giants.
I told you I'm a
In
giant.
1872, a report appeared in the book Historical Collections of Noble County, Ohio. Someone had stumbled across enormous skeletons.
The remains of 3 skeletons were found whose size would indicate they measured in life at least 8 feet in height.
Wow, that's
Remarkable
basically rounds
feature
up
of
to
these
30
remains
feet.
was they had double teeth in front as well as in back of the mouth.
See, just something that I'm a little shy to talk about. I never really thought I'd be telling you this, but I actually have 2 rows of teeth. Can't see them. Can't see them because, you know, I let you see what I want you to see, you know. But if you look real close, yeah. Yeah. You see? Yeah. You see him? Yeah. Told you I'm a giant. Stop calling me short! I'm not short! I'm not! Stop it! You can see, yeah, if you buy yourself a Reina Daki, you'll see, cause I'm smiling in there. Yeah, you can see the double teeth there. You can. Just gonna eat. I'm gonna.
And in both upper and lower jaws. Upon exposure to the atmosphere, the skeletons crumbled back to Mother Earth.
In 1891, anthropologist Frederick Ward Putnam found large skeletons in the same area that measured 7 feet or taller, with skulls twice as thick as a human's. In 1894,
Twice as thick, and
a
you guys
local
are already
farmer
pretty
found
thick-headed.
unusual graves. The
Can't imagine
find was
these
even
guys.
covered by the New York Times.
No offense.
Farmer Warren Cowan recently discovered several ancient graves a mile from the famous Serpent Mound, where Professor Putnam of Harvard made interesting discoveries.
Harvard.
Upon opening one of the graves, a skeleton of upwards of 6 feet was brought to light. In another grave was the skeleton of a man equally large.
I haven't lost it. You literally can't see any teeth on the mouse pad. Thank you, Sun 2.
It seems that the region was populated by a fairly intelligent people, and that the Serpent Mound was an object of worship.
Ross Hamilton writes about giant skeletons found in Miamisburg Mound, about 70 miles from Serpent Mound.
The body of a man more gigantic than any ever recorded in human history has been found in the Miami Valley in Ohio. The skeleton, it is calculated, must have belonged to a man 8 feet 1.5 inches in height. It was found within a half mile of Miamisburg, in a location which contains many relics of the mound builders. Edward Gebhardt and Edward Kaufman discovered it while they were working in a gravel pit. Professor Thomas Wilson, curator of prehistoric anthropology, Smithsonian Institute, says of the find,
"The authenticity of this skull is beyond any doubt."
Look at the size. Look at the size. Okay, that's a normal person just standing right there, like right next to it. Little hat guy right here. Look at the size difference. Angels aren't that big. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to be the one to bring it to you. I don't know what this is. Maybe it's one of my cousins.
Its antiquity is unquestionably great, though though it is impossible to have a good guess as to its age. To my own personal knowledge, several
I
such
don't think these are Photoshopped. They didn't have Photoshop back then.
crania were discovered in the Hopewell group of mounds in Ohio.
Hamilton said the bones were put on display at a local museum, but they're no longer anywhere to be.
Is that you looking at normal human? No! No, because I am tall! They had Photoshop back then? Did they? Did they? Why didn't they do a better job of making Bigfoot look authentic then? Why did they just have to be a blurry camera image? Why are we dealing with so many blurry camera images instead of actually Photoshop things? Just wasn't Photoshop? What did they do then? I mean, I know that they have like women would make their waist look smaller in older photos. Like if you see photos of women with really tiny, possibly tiny waists, you know, like what they would do on old photos, they would use like a white pencil or like a marker, not marker, like, and they would like make white space around it, so then in the final film it looks like it looks doctored. And I know they would like touch up like imperfections. That's why everyone looks like they have really perfect skin from back then. They didn't need Photoshop to edit photos. I know I'm not literally saying Photoshop, but I'm saying how could they have doctored making the bones look cute? Mess with negatives. Yeah, I guess that's what they did for the other stuff I'm talking about. So I guess you could see it being possible. But I wouldn't believe!
Found.
I
And
am a
just
giant.
short trip down
This
the
is about
Ohio
my
River
people.
Valley, another
You will
extraordinary
respect me.
skeleton was found. In 1959, Dr. Donald Dragoo, curator for the Carnegie Museum, unearthed a 7-foot 2-inch skeleton
Carnegie.
during the excavation of the Cresap Mound in West
I don't know why they would fake this.
Virginia. In 1868, a report surfaced that quarry workers with the Sauk Rapids Water Power Company unearthed the remains of a 10-foot tall skeleton along the
Look at
shores of
that
the Mississippi
head!
River. A few days later, the bones were nowhere to be found, rumored to have been whisked east on a late-night train and sold to the circus. In 1897,
Those
the
darn
Worthington
circuses.
Advance describes the Smithsonian Institution's work on the eastern mounds in Iowa. The paper quoted the director of the Bureau of Ethnology, John Wesley Powell.
It is a matter of official record that in digging through a mound in Iowa, the scientists found the skeleton of a giant who, judging from actual measurement, must have stood 7 feet 6 inches tall when alive. The bones crumbled to dust when exposed to the air.
In Steelville, Missouri.
Okay, but listen. I know you can doctor photos and stuff, but I just feel like, why would someone from the Smithsonian and Harvard lie about what they found? Those are like two of the most credible positions. Like, those are two of the most credible positions. The circus people, maybe not so much. Maybe not so much, but like, those are very high to get famous. Money, I don't know. I know people do it. Like, I know even today there's a lot of historians who, you know, want to claim X, Y, or Z happened. Do they preserve their legacy or whatever? But I just mean, like, those are the ones that say giants don't exist. I thought they were the ones who said that they were there.
Missouri, there's a documented case from the Steelville Ledger, June 11th,
And
1933.
if people think you're credible and won't believe you lie, why not lie? Because you're a person with standards? Because you're not a terrible person? Because maybe if you earned that credibility, you should respect that credibility and the people who believe you? But maybe that's just me.
An ancient Ozark giant dug up near Steelville. A boy looking for arrowheads turned up the complete skeleton of an 8-foot
Why was this boy
giant.
looking for arrowheads?
The grisly find was brought to
Whose
Dr.
child was
R.C.
this?
Parker here and stretched out to its enormous length in a hallway of his office, where it has since remained the most startling exhibit Steelville has ever had on public view.
Some believe these Midwest giants traveled west and occupied all of North America. Perhaps they made it all the way to the Pacific. San Diego, California has reports of enormous remains found all over the area.
Am I
A
what?
giant skeleton found in 1895
Here I am, and here's the giant. See? Look how big it is. That's me right there. How'd you guys find me? How'd you guys... Where did he get this photo? Check out my body. See? I have no bones. This guy, all bones.
Measured 8 foot 4 inches. The skeleton was carefully inspected and measured by Professor Thomas Wilson and other scientists. Wilson was an anthropologist for the Smithsonian Institution. Also in Southern California on
It's not me next to no person!
Catalina Island, amateur archaeologist Ralph Glidden found a total of 3,781 skeletons on the Channel Islands between 1919 and 1930. In 1833, Mexican soldiers were digging a pit for a powder magazine at Lompoc Rancho, California. They hacked their way through a layer of gravel and found a 12-foot-long sarcophagus. The skeleton of a giant man was found inside. The grave was surrounded by carved shells, huge stone axes, 2 spears, and thin sheets of quartz. And the sheets of quartz were covered with symbols. And he had another interesting feature, a double row of teeth, both upper and lower.
Oh my god, is that my cousin?
Over the past 200 years, more than 1,000 accounts of 7-foot and taller skeletons have been found across North America.
You tell me all of these are fake, you guys? I don't believe it. I don't believe all of these are fake. There's no way. There's no way. Oh, and coincidentally, there's like none in Wyoming. Why? Because Wyoming doesn't exist. Wake up, sheeple. Look. Look. They're in everywhere else except Wyoming. Why?
Newspaper accounts, town and county histories, letters, scientific journals, diaries, photos, and Smithsonian ethnology reports have carefully documented this.
Love you, Wyomingans. What do you call it? What do you... Wyos? Why? It's funny, because you're... I, too, question why.
The Smithsonian Institution is mentioned dozens of times as the recipient of enormous skeletons from across the entire United States. And if that's true, then where are the bones?
Where are the bones?
From New York to California and almost every state in between, thousands of
Wyomaniacs, Wyominians, Wyomingite. Why? Oming.
and over 1,000 giant skeletons have been discovered and documented. They've been found in mounds, caves, burial chambers, stone crypts, and even on ancient battlefields.
Ooh.
Many of the skeletons have strange physiology, like elongated skulls and double rows of teeth. In dozens of cases, the bones were turned over to the Smithsonian Institution in Washington, D.C.
Wyomingite.
So, where are they?
Sounds
The
like
Smithsonian
a
was never
mineral.
really suspected of wrongdoing, but then something strange happened in 1950. In 1892, ancient wooden coffins were discovered in a place called Crump's Cave in Alabama. The coffins, along with some other artifacts, were sent to the Smithsonian. This is all well documented. So in 1950, researcher Frederick J. Pohl wrote the Smithsonian to inquire about them. It was a curious find because Native Americans didn't use coffins or caskets. Pohl received a reply from the Smithsonian.
We have not been able to find the specimens in our collections, though records show that they were received.
The matter was pursued again in 1992 by another researcher, David Barron. He was told the coffins were wooden troughs.
Troughs?
Yeah.
Wyomingite is a type of volcanic rock. Oh, so it is a minute. So you're wow.
Troughs are long rectangular containers for
cover-up.
feeding cattle, horses,
Open your
or pigs.
eyes.
But before the Europeans arrived, North America didn't have any cattle, horses, or pigs. And even if they did, why would a trough have a lid on it?
What, did this guy mention this to the Smithsonian people?
He did. He was told, yeah, well, even if he wanted to see the coffins or troughs or whatever they were, he couldn't because they were in a warehouse that was contaminated with asbestos and was closed for cleanup.
Closed for how long?
10 years.
10 years?
What?
To clean up asbestos?
Yep.
They're relocating that
They
stuff,
must
you
have a
guys.
union.
Yeah, it starts to smell like a cover-up. The suppression of Native American archaeological evidence
Sorry. You guys, do you smell that? Smells like aliens! Cover up. Smells like cat.
The legend began in 1881. Up until that point, the Smithsonian was under the direction of John Wesley Powell, the geologist famous for exploring the Grand Canyon. Powell had spent a lot of time with the Winnebago Indians, and he found them to be thoughtful and intelligent. So Powell and the Smithsonian actually promoted the idea that Native Americans, who were at the time being exterminated in the Indian Wars, were descended from advanced civilizations who communicated with and traded with cultures all over the country and possibly all over the world. This widespread dispersion of culture is called diffusionism, which the Smithsonian supported. But then Powell appointed Cyrus Thomas as the director of the Eastern Mound Division at the Smithsonian, and then things got political. Thomas wasn't a fan of Native Americans. He thought of them as nothing more than howling savages. Thomas thought it was impossible.
Okay, he looks like he just smoked something really bad. He does not look like the kind of guy who could just sit and like get told happy stories of his childhood. He does not look like a grandpa that I could vibe with. He just looks like he's just like. This guy looks miserable.
For savages from one side of the Mississippi.
Yeah, he just looks like he just did something terrible. He does not look like Caillou. Shut up. Caillou has a smile on his face. He's bald and he's happy. This man is sad or angry or smells bad or something.
To visit savages on the other side. And to think that people as primitive as Native Americans could sail over an ocean was just ridiculous.
Scrooge
this is
over
called
here.
Isolationism. Isolationism says that civilizations develop independently from each other and have very little contact with other civilizations, especially across oceans or lakes. The debates in the Smithsonian raged, and Cyrus Thomas eventually won the battle of isolationism versus diffusionism. Soon, the Smithsonian took an official stance that any archaeological evidence supporting diffusionism was fraudulent. It was believed that contact between the civilizations of the Ohio and Mississippi valleys were rare, and contact between the Mississippian cultures and the Mayas, Toltecs, or Aztecs in Mexico or Central America, well, that was absurd. So the history books were written. Native Americans were a primitive and sometimes savage people, and that was that. But not so fast. When those ancient mounds and pyramids in the Midwest were studied, it was shown that the Mississippi River valleys was, at one time, home to an ancient and sophisticated culture. At the time, the culture's capital city, Cahokia, was bigger than almost any city in Europe.
I mean, it really makes you think. And I know I don't do that very often, at least not here. I promise you that I use my brain sometimes, but like I feel like it makes me question so much sometimes, because I'm like, how do you know this wasn't just written just to satisfy X, Y, or Z? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It makes you kind of skeptical, especially when you have so many other people coming out and being like, no, this is that's thinking. You have so many people coming out and be like, actually, this other theory could be totally true just as much as that, or that one doesn't make any sense at all. Yeah, like benefiting an interested party. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, look at the pyramids. There's pyramids all over. That's what I'm saying. There's pyramids all over the world. All over, just like the major flood thing. And yet, we only really talk about the ones in Egypt. You know? History is written by the victor. Yeah, exactly. Like how I took over the entire world in Civ 6, and now everyone will know that I'm the best, and no one else matters except for Reina. That kind of applies here, too. So, anyway, I'm gonna hit play now.
When the Spiro Mounds in Oklahoma were excavated between 1933 and 1935, a man over 7 feet tall was discovered. He was in full armor, and buried next to him was a pot of thousands of pearls and other artifacts. This was one of the largest treasures ever discovered at that point in time. We know that the man in armor was found, and the Smithsonian was contacted, so where is he? Many human remains were found in graves next to artifacts, but the remains were discarded, and we're told that most of the rare and priceless objects disintegrated before scholars could reach the site.
How convenient that priceless objects vanish before anyone gets there.
And when the excavation was finished,
But
dynamite...
why stack the rocks like that? Why? It's aliens! Why stack the rocks like that? Why? What does it ben? Why does everyone stack their rocks in it like this? What's the reason? You know? Because at first you're told, oh well, it's to be like a burial ground, or it's got like a mummy in it, and it's got a sarcophagus in there. It's got preserved bodies in there. But then you realize they didn't really keep anyone in those pyramids. So then why? Yeah, why stack the rocks at all? You're not building a wall. You're not keeping anyone out. This isn't Age of Empires 4. Why are they building these? Why?
It was used to destroy the burial chamber, and any remaining artifacts that were considered valuable were sold off.
And why did some of them align with the
Acambaro
stars?
artifacts were discovered in Mexico in 1994 and have been the center of controversy. Over 33,000 unusual artifacts, including many ceramic and stone figurines, were found. Initial laboratory testing suggests the artifacts were about 6,500 years old. But here's where things get controversial. Some figurines...
Is that Babu? Oh my god, it's Babu! All the way in the back, say hi, Babu!
depict dinosaurs living alongside humans. And there's a famous carving of a human warrior riding a
That's me riding Babu!
Triceratops. Diverse ethnic groups are represented. Blacks, whites, and Asians are depicted. But those races should have been unknown in the Americas 6,500 years ago. And there were strange creatures like mermaids, human-animal hybrids, even a Bigfoot. Also found were teeth from an extinct Ice Age horse, and the skeletal dinosaurs, hybrids, even a Bigfoot. Also depicted. But those races should have been unknown in the Americas 6,500 years ago.
Wait,
and there were strange creatures like mermaids, human-animal hybrids, even a Bigfoot. Also found
where is
teeth
it? That one! I like this one! I like this one. It's my favorite.
An extinct Ice Age horse and the skeleton of a mammoth. Neither of these animals should have been there. Archaeologists Charles C. DePeso and John H. Tierney examined the collection and authenticated the find. Carlos Perea, the director of archaeology for the Acambaro Zone, also authenticated it. But the Smithsonian and other authorities dismissed the findings as fraudulent. Despite laboratories dating the objects to 4,500 BC, the Smithsonian declared the artifacts 30 years old and said the whole find was a hoax. John Tierney, who later collaborated with Professor Charles Hapgood, said the Smithsonian Institution and other authorities had conducted a campaign of disinformation against the discoveries. If you remember from the Adam and Eve episode we did,
Smithsonian's
Charles
pretty
Hapgood was
sus. Smithsonian, more like Smithsonian.
dismissed as a pseudoscientist because he claimed the continents drift over millions of years.
Oops.
Yeah. So John Tierney filed a Freedom of Information request and asked for all the Acambaro files from the Smithsonian. Well, it turns out the files are missing, and all the Acambaro objects in the Smithsonian's possession have been put into storage and may not be viewed by the public.
Until when?
Didn't say. Tierney went on to write a book called Acambaro, Archaeology's Astounding Scandal. But good luck trying to find
Archaeologists are always
it. The
doing
phrase,
crazy
a
stuff.
skeleton in the closet, refers to a secret that, if exposed, would cause shame, guilt, or even a scandal. Now, we all have a skeleton or two in the closet. For us, that's just a metaphor. But for
Mine is a little literal. I have several skeletons, mainly because at night I shed this demon husk and I go into another one, and then I go into your house when you're not watching, right when you think you're dozing off to sleep, and then I come and I eat your food, and that way when you see me, if you ever catch me, I am not Reina. I am another being. You know, it's part of my demonic possession powers. So that's my skeletons in my closet.
For the Smithsonian, they're actual skeletons.
You have a skeleton in your body? What?
Giants in America, a government conspiracy, a Smithsonian cover-up. It's a fascinating story. But is it true? Well, let's unravel it. Ohio has been the epicenter for giant skeletons, especially in the 19th century. When early discoveries made the news, the stories were a national sensation.
I do ask that when I come to my own channel. What is this? What?
Now, this amount of attention also brings out the hoaxers and scammers.
Hey, you want to buy a Hecklefish NFT?
I do not.
Yes!
And by the way, if you bought an NFT relating to the Y-Files or Hecklefish, you got scammed. But not by me.
No refunds!
In 1882, enormous skeletons were discovered in a lake bed near Cincinnati. The Columbus Dispatch ran with the story. The problem was, it was all a hoax.
No, that was my slice of cake that I ate just now. I just ate it. Maybe you should have ate it faster.
The alleged discoverer was charging admission to visit his property and view the skeleton. Now, it may or may not have been a real skeleton, but either way, it was about
They denied they were the first in flight for a very long time.
Maybe the guy who found it was really short.
But then history wrote it
the
that
story
way.
was so
Why?
exciting that newspapers around the world ran it without fact-checking.
Journalists running stories
they
without
ran
checking
what?
the facts.
1882, enormous skeletons were discovered in a lake bed near Cincinnati. The Columbus Dispatch ran with the story. The problem was, it was all a hoax. The alleged discoverer was charging admission to visit his property and view the skeleton. Now, it may or may not have been a real skeleton, but either way, it was about 5'8", so not a giant.
Maybe the guy who found it was really short.
Maybe, but the story was so exciting that newspapers around the world ran it without fact-checking.
Journalists running stories without checking the facts. No, it can't be.
As more stories about giants popped up in the news, it was hard to separate fact from fiction because the newspapers ran every story.
Hey, you want the truth? You want to sell papers, am I right?
Shut up.
Right.
Nothing ever changes.
That's true. Ralph Glidden was the archaeologist who found over 3,000 giant skeletons in 800 graves on Catalina Island. That turned out to be a huge hoax. He did find one skeleton.
So this is one of those guys who freaking sucks, right? First of all, just hearing that number, you're like, okay, 1 or 2. You faked 3,000? Of course you're gonna get found out, my guy. Are you serious? What do you think is gonna, that's when it's like completely unbelievable, right? Like, did you guys see that story earlier this year about like the fishing hoax? This one guy was winning, like, he was beating people in a fishing competition for like thousands of dollars, but he was putting rocks in the fish when he would grab them. Right? And the one fish that he caught, the one that really broke everybody's belief, was like 10 pounds over, even though it was like about the same length as the other fish that other people caught. Because he just went way too far with his lie. Yeah, it's just like, I'm already having a hard time believing you, but then you come on. Oh yeah, weights. It wasn't walks, it was weights. Like, clearly that fish is not that big.
And took a picture of himself standing near it. He showed the picture to a friend who said, "That looks like a giant," which it does, but only because the skeleton is closer to the camera. Glidden ran with the idea to make some money, but it was all a scam. And since the early days of the internet, photos have been floating around of people excavating sites with giant bones. Some of the pictures are great, and I used a lot of them today, but most of the pictures are from a Photoshop contest held in 2002. In fact, science says that giant humans could not exist. Yes, there are human beings who grow very tall, but that's due to medical conditions
guys, we
and
still got
genetic
18
disorders.
minutes. Don't
Gigantism often
give up on
happens
it
when
yet.
someone has a tumor on their pituitary gland. But this is a serious medical problem.
Shut
and
up,
people who
noodles.
suffer from
I still
gigantism
believe.
often die very young due to the strain on their hearts and other organs. Then there's Marfan syndrome, a genetic condition that can cause limbs to be much longer in relation to the rest of the body. It's believed that Abraham Lincoln might have had Marfan syndrome. At 6'4", he was much taller than most of the men of his time.
He also died young.
Oof.
What? Still too soon?
But the reason humans can't grow to be
Stupid
giants
fish.
is the square cube law. This states that as
Shut
the
up,
size
fish.
of any object grows, its volume grows faster than its surface area. If a giant is 60 feet tall, or about 10 times the size of someone 6 feet tall, the giant's body volume would
What did
have
he
to
even
be
say?
100
I
times
just
the
know he
volume
said
of the
something
6 foot
dumb.
man.
I wasn't even paying
A
attention.
cubic inch of bone can support 19,000 pounds. That's
a big boy. Monkey!
a lot. But at 60 feet tall, bone would need to support well over 550,000 pounds. Human bones would shatter and crumble under this weight.
Yeah, but who says giants are human?
Now that's a fair
Shut up,
point.
Noodle!
There are discoveries of giants where it was reported
I
that the
see,
bones
I
of the
see,
body
Ethan.
and the skull were much thicker than humans. So is the Smithsonian covering this up? Well, debunkers say no. The story about John Wesley Powell nominating Cyrus Thomas to the Smithsonian first appears in an article written by David Childress in 1993. The article caught fire and has been in circulation ever since. Now that doesn't mean Childress is wrong, but I do get suspicious when stories about the 19th century don't emerge until the late 20th century. So have the authorities been suppressing knowledge that the Americas were once inhabited by advanced civilizations? Civilizations who made contact with cultures around the world? Well, to get this answer, we're gonna need a sweet potato.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Do I have sea monkeys in my ears, or did you just say sweet potato?
Sweet potato. Did you just say sweet
For
potato?
over 100 years, the Smithsonian and
spicy.
mainstream archaeology has supported isolationism, that the cultures that emerged in North America did not have contact with Central America or South America, and definitely did not contact cultures across the oceans. It's absurd to even think it. But the Smithsonian has a problem: the sweet potato. Sweet potatoes are native to the Americas, but an ancient sweet potato was found in the Cook Islands, which are in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. The potato was carbon dated to the year 1000. That would mean that 500 years before Columbus, a Native American tribe traveled across the Pacific and landed in Polynesia and brought sweet potatoes with them. Or Polynesians traveled to the Americas and back. The counter-argument is that the sweet potato fell off a boat near Central America and floated to Polynesia, over 5,000 miles away.
It's one lucky potato.
Linguists have found that the word for sweet potato in early Polynesian languages is kumala. In Native American dialects spoken in Ecuador, the word is kumara. Now, it could all be a coincidence, but we're not done yet. Even more compelling is DNA analysis of Polynesian chickens. In 2007, chicken bones were found at an excavation site in Chile. The DNA of the bones matched chickens from the Pacific islands of Samoa and Tonga, and were carbon dated to between 13...
Babies! Look at the babies! They're so cute! Oh, you...
4 and
I
1425.
want a chicken, I want a chicken, I want a
Before the
chicken!
Spanish arrived in the New World.
An alive
In
one!
2019, South American chickens were studied and found to have an unknown genetic component. It turned out that component was from chickens found on Easter Island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. The study was so astounding that research was done on human DNA. And in 2020, the study showed that some Polynesian people had DNA inherited from people who lived in Colombia about 800 years ago. Specifically, Polynesians share DNA with the Xenu tribe.
Let's all be
who
Owen
lived in
Wilson
Colombia
together.
on the
Wow.
Caribbean side, not even the
Wow.
Pacific Ocean side. It's too much to cover in this episode, but there's evidence of Chinese contact with the New World in 1200 BC, or Indian contact in 2000 BC, and of Arab contact in the 9th century. There are even old maps from the Arabs and Turks, like the Piri Reis map, that show North and South America, 1,000 years before Columbus was born. And there's much more. Some mummies have been found with traces of coca and nicotine. A re-examination of the mummy of Ramses II in the 1970s
Wow. Is that a mummy?
revealed the presence of fragments of tobacco leaves in his abdomen. Coca and tobacco are native to the Americas. Now, mainstream science says an archaeologist handling the mummy must have spilled his pipe.
Well, and his hot cocoa.
That's what they say. Now remember, we did an episode on Egyptian artifacts allegedly discovered in the Grand Canyon in 1909.
That the mummy in your
Smithsonian
closet?
denies this and claims the whole story is a hoax. But for some reason, the part of the Grand Canyon where the discovery was made is off limits. You can't even fly over it. If you do wander into the area, within a few minutes, unmarked planes and helicopters appear in an area where flying is not allowed.
Guys, we gotta go. We gotta try this out. We gotta go to this area. I wanna see if it happens. Safety hazard, smash.
I'll link to the episode below, which goes into detail. You'll even see the planes and helicopters I'm talking about. Once again, those artifacts were sent to the
link, you
Smithsonian,
said.
and
What is
nobody knows what happened.
What is the
In
link?
1990, a
What is
law
the
was
link?
passed, the
What is
Native
the link?
American Graves
Where is
Protection
the
and
link?
Repatriation Act. This law says that any federal agency in possession of Native American
found it.
cultural items, including human remains or sacred objects, will be returned to the tribes upon request. Great! The Smithsonian is a federal agency. So can we get all the skeletons from Ohio and have a look? Nope. United States Code, Title 25, Chapter 32, Section 3001, subsections 4 and 8 state.
Subsection 4. Federal agency means any department, agency, or instrumentality of the United States. Such term does not include the Smithsonian Institution. Subsection 8. Museum means any institution or state or local government agency, including any institution of higher learning, that receives federal funds and has possession of or control over Native American cultural items. Such term does not include the Smithsonian Institution or any other federal agency.
The law requiring the government to return skeletons to the tribes, well, the Smithsonian is exempt. So if history books need to be rewritten, don't look to the Smithsonian for help. And don't demand answers either. Mainstream science, and especially the media, have a playbook. It's easy to recognize once you look for it. The 4 stages of suppression are criticize, marginalize, attack, and censor. Now here's an example.
I don't claim to be an archaeologist or a scientist.
When Graham Hancock released his documentary series called Ancient Apocalypse...
Why wouldn't they switch that around to be a fun acronym? Criminalize, marginalize, attack, and censor. Why not just change that to scam? Or... or like Mac. Or something. Right? Mac. Cam! Something.
Apocalypse, it was a huge hit. It explores the theory that ancient advanced cultures existed thousands of years ago but were wiped out in the Great Flood of the Younger Dryas. Now, you can agree with this theory or disagree with it. Either way is fine with me. But wherever you stand, we can all agree that it's an interesting theory worthy of discussion, right?
I want to go the video now.
Wrong. The Guardian reviewed the series in an article titled, Ancient Apocalypse is the most dangerous show on Netflix. Now there's stage 1, criticize. Not only should we not discuss alternate theories, it's actually dangerous to discuss them. But people like us—
We should watch that show. I've only seen one episode of the Graham Hancock show, but we should watch that show. It seemed pretty cool.
Don't care about criticism. We don't care what the media thinks. So they have to escalate to stage 2, marginalize. That same article has a spicy subtitle which read, A show with a truly preposterous theory is one of the streaming giant's biggest hits, and it seems to exist solely for conspiracy theorists. So if you believe in or even have an interest in this preposterous subject, you're marginalized as a conspiracy theorist.
No,
the
I have
same
my
article
tinfoil hat. I'm
insinuates
not
that people who are
conspiracy
curious about civilizations before the flood are the same as flat earthers.
That still might be flat.
We're 9/11 truthers.
Inside job.
Not now. Being called a conspiracy theorist used to be a major insult, but we've heard it so much that we're not affected by it anymore.
I take it as a compliment.
I know. So they escalate to stage 3, attack. MSN reviewed the documentary in an article with this headline, Graham Hancock's series promotes racist conspiracy theories.
And there it is.
ABC ran with it. Ancient Apocalypse series uses racist ideologies. Now, I watched and enjoyed the documentaries. I enjoy discussing alternate history and life before the Younger Dryas flood.
Younger Dryas?
I'm not racist.
Pyramids!
Are you? I don't care what color the people were before the flood. I just want to know about them, and I would guess that you're the same. But calling someone a racist without evidence is very much in style now. But because that word is thrown around so much, that attack is also losing its teeth. So you criticized, it didn't work. You marginalized, it didn't work. Attacked, it didn't work. That leaves stage 4, which does work. Censorship. It's right there in that headline from The Guardian, where the author poses the question, why has this been allowed? What does he mean allowed? Who does he want allowing or disallowing free speech? Netflix? The government? I suspect I know the answer. Now, I don't agree with all of Graham Hancock's assertions laid out in the documentary, but all of them are worthy of discussion. Mainstream media and science disagrees. These discussions are preposterous, dangerous, and racist somehow, so censor it. For 100 years, Egyptologists proudly claimed ancient Egypt as the first major civilization, with a minor shout out to the Sumerians who were there 1,000 years earlier. Any culture older than that was nonsense, and discussion was censored.
Wait, I didn't put the rules
was discovered in Turkey and is found to be 5,000 years older than Sumeria.
Let's see.
Yeah, that was embarrassing. Then Bonkuklu Tarla was discovered, also in Turkey. That culture dates back to over 12,000 years ago. That's a period of time called the Pleistocene. Now, we were taught that this was the time of the cavemen. But in Bonkuklu Tarla, They understood agriculture and animal husbandry. They could cut stone, and they engaged in city planning. A few years ago, a sewer system was discovered. These weren't cavemen. They lived in houses built around a central religious center. A Netflix documentary discussing different theories isn't dangerous. But articles by mainstream television writers who get their facts from mainstream scientists, those articles are dangerous. They're dangerous because they suppress debate, which in turn suppresses discovery. I'm so glad the archaeologists who found Bonkuklu didn't read internet news. Otherwise, those racist conspiracy theorists might never have found what is, so far, the oldest culture on Earth. A culture that emerged, by the way, right after the Great Flood of the Younger Dryas. As more time passes, more evidence emerges to support theories about alternate history.
For science
if giants walk the Earth, sooner or later, that too will be discovered. But mainstream media will do everything it can to prevent that news from getting out. If The Guardian, NBC, ABC, USA Today, CNN, and all the others continue to be wrong over and over again, maybe we have to start asking the question about those articles.
Yeah, I almost wanted to play more Civ today, but I was like, oh, wait, not yet. Not yet. Not yet.
On every corner of our planet,
This is an ad. Where do I go to change my rules for my streams? What sort of thought?
On solid ground, a kaleidoscope of unique stories of adaptation, beauty, survival. But Mother Nature's most mysterious secrets are kept closely guarded. For they are not in the air or on land. Those secrets are below.
What is this? What am I looking at?
Fun or learn anything.
Next video!
In
Okay, this is like
1908,
20 minutes
President
long.
Teddy Roosevelt wanted to declare the Grand Canyon off limits to all timber and mining operations. It would take another 11 years for Congress to designate the Grand Canyon a national park. Sensing a final opportunity for adventure, explorer G.E. Kincaid took a boat down the Colorado River and through the Grand Canyon. The canyon was rich in minerals like gold, silver, and copper, and Kincaid wanted to see what he could find before the area was closed off for good. About 40 miles upriver from the El Tovar Crystal Canyon, Kincaid saw stains in the sediment formation about 2,000 feet up. He tied off the boat and got out to investigate. Kincaid couldn't find a trail, but after a short hike, he found something interesting covered in desert brush. Steps, hundreds of them, carved in sandstone. Steps that wound their way up to a high shelf on the side of the canyon. He followed the steps until he came across a cavern entrance, an entrance that was clearly man-made. Kincaid entered the cavern and turned on his flashlight. On the walls, he saw writing, but it wasn't English or Native American writing. It was ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics. Kincaid lifted his flashlight and saw that the tunnel ran far into the distance. He didn't realize it at the time, but this was only the beginning. When G.E. Kincaid tied off his small wooden boat to investigate the strange coloration of the rock wall, he was hoping to find clues that would lead him to a mineral deposit. He wasn't expecting to find hieroglyphics. When Kincaid noticed chisel marks in the walls, he drew his pistol, turned on another light, and slowly walked deeper into the gloom. He kept detailed notes of everything he saw.
The main passageway is about 12 feet wide, narrowing to 9 feet toward the farther end. About 57 feet from the entrance, the first side passages branch off to the right and left, along which on both sides are a number of rooms about the size of ordinary living rooms of today, though some are 30 by 40 feet square. These are entered by oval-shaped doors and are ventilated by round air spaces through the walls into the passages. The walls are about 3 feet 6 inches in thickness. The passages are chiseled or hewn as straight as could be laid out by an engineer. The ceilings of many of the rooms converge to a center. The side passages near the entrance run at a sharp angle from the main hall, but toward the rear they gradually reach a right angle in direction.
G.E. Kincaid now realized he was in a huge complex. He estimated that as many as 50,000 people could have lived here. In some rooms he found granaries with shelves of glazed pottery, many of which still contain seeds. He found cooking areas and a huge dining hall. The rooms were full of ancient artifacts. Kincaid carefully wrapped a few small metal and ceramic objects for later study. Another large room Kincaid described as an area for metalwork, a technology that should not have existed in this area.
Here are found tools of all descriptions made of copper. These people undoubtedly knew the lost art of hardening this metal, which has been sought by chemicals for centuries without result. On a bench running around the workroom was some charcoal and other material probably used in the process. There's also slag and stuff similar to meth.
He's the only one that's probably. We don't know yet, do we?
So far, no trace of where or how this was done has been discovered, nor the origin of the ore.
G.E. Kincaid explored the underground complex for several hours, still having no idea when this place was used, what it was used for, or who the builders were. Then he came across another large room, a crypt. The crypt had shelf upon shelf and row upon row of mummies.
That's freaking creepy. Look at that. Are you telling me that's fake? That looks so creepy.
Dozens of them. At this point, G.E. Kincaid realized that if he was going to explore this entire underground city, he was going to need help.
Yeah, get more people in there so they believe.
G.E. Kincaid sent a few artifacts to the Smithsonian along with his notes of what he found. He requested financial and logistical support for what he felt was the most significant archaeological discovery ever made. The Smithsonian agreed. A few weeks later, Professor S.A. Jordan arrived with a team of about 40 scientists, researchers, and laborers to excavate and explore the ancient underground city. Now with more lights and manpower, the scientists realized that the cave system layout wasn't random. It was a symmetrical, deliberate design. The tunnels all led to a central chamber. In the chamber was a large statue of what Kincaid thought looked like Buddha.
Like butter.
Buddha.
What I say.
Over 100 feet from the entrance is the cross hall, several hundred feet long, in which are found the image of the people's god, sitting cross-legged with a lotus flower or lily in each hand. The cast of this face is oriental, and the carving in this cavern. The idol almost resembles Buddha, though the scientists are not certain as to what religious worship it represents. Taking into consideration everything found thus far, it is possible that this worship most resembles the ancient people of Tibet.
No, I didn't think we were allowed to say Oriental. Are we bringing that back?
We're not. This was written over 100 years ago. So.
Oh, right, when we had freedom of speech.
No, Oriental in this context just means Eastern.
Ah.
Because of this discovery, Kincaid's team started calling the complex the Citadel. The crypt was one of the bigger rooms discovered. Now, with enough light, Kincaid was able to fully describe what he saw.
The walls slant back at an angle of about 35 degrees. On these are tiers of mummies, each one occupying a separate hewn shelf. At the head of each is a small bench, on which is found copper cups and pieces of broken swords. Some of the mummies are covered with clay, and all are wrapped in a bark fabric. The urns or cups on the lower tiers are crude, while as the higher shelves are reached, the urns are finer in design, showing a later stage of civilization. It is worthy of note that all the mummies examined so far have proved to be male, no children or females being buried here. This leads to the belief that this exterior section was the warriors' barracks.
Kincaid, Jordan, and the Smithsonian team explored the entire cave complex. They were overwhelmed with evidence that this was not some faraway temple occupied by a few priests. This was a huge city lived in by thousands of men, women, and children for hundreds or possibly thousands of years. The question nobody could answer was, who were they?
Yo mama. Boom! Got him! Boom!
By the end of the expedition, G.E. Kincaid and Professor Jordan's team had discovered hundreds of rooms, barracks, granaries, metalworking shops, temples, and many, many living quarters. Though most of the rooms were empty, thousands of artifacts were found. They found swords and shields made of copper, bronze, and a gray metal that scientists couldn't identify. They thought it looked like platinum. They found pottery, urns, utensils for cooking, small yellow stones called cat's eyes, and large stone tablets, all engraved with hieroglyphics.
On all the urns or walls over doorways and tablets of stone which were found by the image are the mysterious hieroglyphics, the key to which the Smithsonian Institute hopes yet to discover. The engraving on the tablets probably has something to do with the religion of the people. Similar hieroglyphics have been found in southern Arizona. Among the pictorial writings, only 2 animals are found.
John, thank you for this picture.
Even with all the relics and all the writing Kincaid and Jordan found, they were still no closer to determining who built the citadel in the Grand Canyon. They thought some of the statues looked Tibetan, but they weren't quite right. They thought the writing looked Egyptian. Again, that wasn't quite right. There were experts on site. none of whom could identify the statues or translate any of the text. But there were two things that the researchers could agree on. One, the civilization that built the citadel was very advanced, far more advanced than the native tribes that occupied the area for a few thousand years. This now lost civilization worked bronze many years before the Bronze Age began. They understood division of labor and agriculture when every other society on Earth was presumably still hunting and gathering. These are discoveries that went against everything that was taught in mainstream archaeology and anthropology. A civilization like this shouldn't exist.
Oh, what was the second thing?
What?
Well, you said the eggheads agreed on two things. What was the second thing?
Right. They agreed that the civilization
Is
that
there
built the
a creepy place
citadel
in
in
the
the Grand
citadel?
Canyon didn't emerge there locally. This civilization arrived there from the other side of the world. Kincaid and Professor Jordan sent boxes of artifacts and books full of notes and drawings back to the Smithsonian, along with their hypothesis that an ancient civilization existed in the Grand Canyon thousands of years.
This clear example. What is that? What is that in the sky? What is that? What is that? No! Was it aliens?
Thousands of years.
Wow!
With their hypothesis that an ancient
Aliens! Clearly Alan! Alan! It's an Alan!
civilization existed in the Grand Canyon thousands of years before Native Americans arrived in North America. These people were technologically advanced, educated, skilled, and spiritually complex.
Don't hate
and
me
these
for
people
telling the
originated
truth.
somehow in Egypt or Asia. Kincaid wanted more resources and a larger team to help them research the citadel and search the Grand Canyon for more evidence of this lost civilization. Their request was denied, and G.E. Kincaid and Professor S.A. Jordan were never heard from again.
Son of a
In northern Arizona is one of the most spectacular natural wonders on Earth, the Grand Canyon. Carved over millions of years by the Colorado River, the Grand Canyon is more than just a pretty landscape and a spot for tourists to take selfies. It's a place of deep spiritual significance for the people who've lived in the area. The Hopi, Navajo, Zuni, Apache, and several other tribes have lived around the Grand Canyon for several thousand years. They still do. Hopi mythology says that from the Grand Canyon, the first people of the world entered. The story says that many thousands of years ago, a reptilian race emerged.
lizard people.
Yep.
Hey, how many times do lizard people have to come up with these stories before you believe in them?
I guess I'm gonna need a few more.
Lizard people are gonna keep popping up. You'll see.
Thousands of years ago, a reptilian race,
Lizard people.
lizard people emerged from the Grand Canyon and changed into humans.
Lizard people are shapeshifters.
That would seem to be true. Other Pueblo cultures like the Zuni and the Acoma
Brad, not
have
the
similar
lesser
legends
rules.
that there were people there before the tribes.
Lizard people legends.
Well, some legends say reptilians were there. Other legends say a race of giants were there.
Ooh.
And there are rumors that skeletons of giants have been discovered all over the western United States, but the evidence has been suppressed.
But not Wyoming,
Suppressed
though.
by who?
The Smithsonian.
Not Wyoming.
Something I've learned from doing the show is that all myths and legends do carry a little bit of truth. We already have evidence that people landed in North America before Columbus. The Vikings famously explored and settled parts of Newfoundland 500 years before the quote-unquote New World was quote-unquote discovered. And there's growing evidence that ancient Chinese explorers landed in North and South America before the Vikings. But landing on the east or west coast of America is one thing. Getting to the Grand Canyon is a whole other thing. How could people get there? And even if they could, how did they have the technology to excavate millions of tons of rock in order to build an entire underground city? Well, we may have known the answer to that.
Yes, the answer. The answer to is aliens. Aliens!
That question for 1,000 years. Traveling from Europe and Asia to America thousands of years ago was almost impossible. Almost. Many brave people did it. But traveling to the Grand Canyon is a much more difficult task
Yeah, I'm caught up on
than
Bill and
landing on
Bob.
a
I'm
California
never
beach.
questioning about
To
it.
get to and build in the Grand Canyon requires technology. The Hopi have a very intriguing legend about the ant people. These are humanoid creatures that are smaller than humans, with pale skin and large eyes like an insect.
Aliens.
According to legend, a series of cataclysms hit the Earth many thousands of years ago.
Younger Dryas.
The Hopi were on the verge of being destroyed.
Always
a
Younger
sky
Dryas.
god emerged from what they called a moving star.
UFO.
The sky god brought the Hopi to the ant people, who escorted them to
Reina?
underground caves
What?
for protection.
This is
The sky god
unbelievable.
then got back into his moving star and flew off above the clouds. The Piyot have a legend about the Havmusuvs. They're usually described as being humanoid in shape with
I'm
golden
not
skin
an
and large
person.
eyes.
Aliens.
They lived in a vast
Aliens.
underground city and traded with faraway people. They possessed weapons that the
Echofish.
Piyot described as silver tubes that shot lightning and can kill a man instantly.
Phases.
And the most interesting part of the Havmusuv legend? They supposedly flew silver canoes in the sky.
UFOs.
These craft made a humming sound and could maneuver like an eagle and move at great speeds.
I'm
Most
not
ancient
ant.
cultures
I'm
have
not
a
an
flood
ant.
myth. They describe a global disaster that melted the ice caps and caused sea level to rise 400 feet. Entire cities were wiped out, maybe even entire continents.
Atlantis.
Most of these flood myths also talk about how, after the waters receded, a godlike people came down from the sky. These gods gave humans the gift of civilization and taught them things they had forgotten before the Great Flood. Things like writing, astronomy, and
Alien
agriculture.
ants.
Could the city in the Grand Canyon be evidence of
Aliens.
this time in history? And if it is, why would anyone want to suppress it?
Money.
All the information in today's episode comes from 2 front-page articles from the Phoenix Gazette published in 1909. In the years since, mainstream researchers have decided that the articles were a hoax, a fantastic story designed to sell newspapers.
19th century clickbait.
Yep,
The media hasn't changed much.
unfortunately that's true. But many people believe the story is real, and the Smithsonian is covering it up.
Smithsonian Public Relations, Marion speaking.
Hold on. Hello?
Hello?
Hello? I'm here. Sorry, I was on hold a long time.
How can I help you?
They transferred me to Marion.
Yes, this is Marion.
Okay, great. My name is AJ, and I'm with the Y-Files. We're a YouTube channel that covers mysteries.
Did you say you're from YouTube?
The Y-Files is a channel on YouTube, yes.
Okay.
Okay, I wanted to talk to you about
Marion's like XXX. This is sus. YouTube. No one with credentials comes from YouTube.
an article that was in the Phoenix, Arizona Gazette in 1909, and they sent me to you. I was hoping to ask you a couple of questions about that.
Okay, let me stop you. No Egyptian artifacts of any kind have ever been found in North or South America.
Marion! Marion, why you gotta be so rude? Why you gotta be so rude?
Sounds like you've given that speech before.
Yes, I get this call a couple of times a year.
Marion just wants to look. She just wants to look through her files and retire in 2 days, and she does not need anyone asking questions for the 1,000th time about burial grounds, about any of that stuff. Okay, none of that stuff. Marion is 2 days from retirement. You guys stop calling her. Stop calling this lady. She just sounds so done. She sounds so done.
The Smithsonian has never been
Yeah, she gives pure doesn't get paid enough for this energy.
No Egyptian artifacts of any kind have ever been found in North or South America.
Sounds like you've given that speech before.
Yes,
Poor
I get this
Marion.
call a couple of times a year. I can tell you that the Smithsonian has never been involved in anything like this in the Grand Canyon or
She's
anywhere.
So, G.E. Kincaid.
There's no record of anyone by that name ever working for the Smithsonian. The whole thing is a hoax.
Yeah, that's the prevailing belief, but the Smithsonian has been accused of covering this up, so
Yeah, I don't have a response to that.
you probably...
Marion! What? You don't have a response? Why can't you, if you can say that it definitively was a hoax, why can't you definitively say that the Smithsonian was not involved? Marion! I caught you in a lie, Marion!
Well, you don't want to talk about
Lizard.
giants or giant skeletons, huh?
And goodbye.
That's the official story. Kincaid's cave is a hoax, so no reason to try and find it. Nothing to see here.
Goodbye.
Even Kincaid himself wanted to keep people out.
First, I would impress that the cavern is nearly inaccessible. The entrance is 1,486 feet down the sheer canyon wall. It is located on government land, and no visitor will
I'm
be...
sorry, I know Marion, she's just, that was an MVP moment, right? That was, she's just so done. She did not have time for this, okay?
Allowed there under penalty of trespass. The scientists wish to work unmolested, without fear of archaeological discoveries being disturbed by curio or relic hunters.
I mean, that's fair.
A trip there would be fruitless, and the visitor would be sent on his way.
Whether at the request of the Smithsonian or just to protect his find, it was clear that Kincaid wanted to dissuade people from finding the Citadel.
You cannot ask if Marion is single! She's 2 days from retirement!
But even over 100 years later, that wouldn't stop people from trying. And some of those people, they say they found it.
Lizard people.
Jerry Wills and his wife Kathy have been studying the Kincaid Cave mystery for years. Their approach was find the original base camp of the explorers, which would lead them to the cave. After years of research and exploring the area where G.E. Kincaid said he found the cave, Jerry and Kathy found a location covered in artifacts from that time. And on the canyon wall just below this area, they believe is the entrance to the underground city. Exploring is difficult though. The entire area where the cave is supposed to be is designated off limits by the federal government.
But why?
About 1,000 caves have been discovered in the Grand Canyon, many of them man-made, but only about 30 have been mapped, and many of those have been sealed.
Ooh, I close them off.
Oh, for your safety.
That's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, I don't buy the safety excuse either.
Safety?
There are plenty of people who'd be willing to take the risk, and they'd be willing to sign a
At
waiver.
least give like a plausible reason, like, oh, there's rare species of bat living in there. We don't want to disturb them or something. Something that people will be like, okay, I buy it. For safety, have me sign a waiver and I'm going into that cave.
Waiver that says the government isn't responsible if something happens. In fact, people have tried this. The government still says no, it's too dangerous.
How nice of the government to look out for us.
Isn't that nice? Then why is it legal to jump out of a plane or ride a roller coaster or drive a car? Some things in life are dangerous,
Hey,
but they're
Vince,
still...
but then splunking's a thing, right? Like, people go into caves all the time. I would never. I am not that kind of demon. I'm sorry, I'm too much of a wuss. But people do it. It's a thing.
worth doing. Some other caves in the Grand Canyon have been blocked by steel gates. They say this is to protect the bat population.
Whoa, did you say bats? We have to protect the bats?
That's what they say.
Well, haven't bats caused enough problems these last few years? Allegedly.
What?
Still, people are willing to risk a fine or imprisonment to find the lost city in the Grand Canyon. But anyone who goes looking should expect a response. When Jerry and Kathy's team tried to explore the area, suddenly an unmarked plane appeared. Clearly, they were being watched. Despite this part of the Grand Canyon being a no-fly zone, and the fact that no aircraft is allowed to fly below the rim, a plane appeared. Jerry Wills is convinced this was a warning. His team was unable to continue their expedition. Exploring the cave from above is almost impossible. But what about exploring it from below, as G.E. Kincaid did? Another group of explorers tried this. As they approached the location, a black helicopter showed up. Not a tourist helicopter, not even a black civilian helicopter, an Apache combat helicopter. When this team explored the area above, looking for the ventilation shafts Kincaid wrote about, and possibly a way down, they found cement blocks in the middle of nowhere. Some of these blocks are platforms near the edge of the rim with hardware and anchors that would be used to assist mountaineers. When asked about this, the authorities say these are reinforcing structures to prevent rock falls. Also in this forbidden zone, rock formations have unusual names. There's Isis Temple, Tower of Set, Horus, the Cheops Pyramid, and Ra. There's also the Manu Temple, the Buddha Temple, the Krishna Temple, and the Shiva Temple, and many more names that refer to ancient Egyptian and Hindu cultures, cultures that specifically have myths about a god helping civilization after the Great Flood.
An Apache flew over your apartment? But run, they're watching you. They can find you anywhere. Run, not the Apache. I do think this is kind of weird though. Like, they're all named after, like what he said, you know, ancient civilizations are related to religion in some kind of way. Like, what do you have to hide? We have to test this theory. Who wants to go to the Grand Canyon? Just put me on a screen. I'll be there to give you moral support. One of you can go to the entrance and we'll see if the helicopter flies by. Who wants to do it? I'm joking. Please do not actually do this. Please do not storm Area 51. Do not go to the secret entrance in the Grand Canyon. I will not be there. Please do not do it. Oh, you even see through the cockpit, really? Oh! Oh, cool. Wait, what part is the cockpit again? That's where you sit, right? So he can see through where he sits? You already here? Get out! They're gonna find you!
The official word is
You're
the
not to
fact
run
that
through
these
it.
names exist within the
You got
Grand
a cat
Canyon's
girl?
no-go zone is a coincidence. But I don't really believe in those. Do you?
I don't know what to believe.
David Hatcher Childress is a French author who's published 200 books. He often covers ancient mysteries. He believes the United States government is actively suppressing.
I don't know. He seems pretty. You know what? I don't know though, because I thought that the kind, sweet old man who thought that they found aliens the last time he did this, I thought they looked very honest, and I was wrong. They were swindlers. So he might be on. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. It's fine.
He mentions
you never know
that
until you know a
while the
person.
film Raiders of the
And
Lost
once they
Ark
show
is
you,
fiction,
you know,
the
you know?
final scene showing the warehouse is close to reality. That the Smithsonian, an independent federal agency, is hiding some of the most important discoveries made in the Americas.
I gotta
He
find
says
it.
the cover-up began in 1881 with famous geologist John Wesley Powell. Powell appointed Cyrus Thomas the director of the Eastern Mound Division of the Smithsonian Institution's Bureau of Ethnology. When Thomas came to the Smithsonian, he believed there was a race of mound builders that were distinct from and arrived before the American Indians. This school of thought is called diffusionism, which says throughout history, there's been a widespread dispersion of culture and civilization, even across great distances. The Smithsonian took the opposite approach. It promoted isolationism, which says most civilizations are isolated from each other and have little contact, especially when separated by large bodies of water. It was held that the advanced and highly populated civilizations of the Ohio and Mississippi valleys were rare, and that they didn't have contact with other advanced cultures like the Aztecs, the Toltecs, or the Maya. But the Mississippi River runs from Canada all the way to the Gulf of Mexico. To say these cultures were isolated is like saying that people in the Black Sea had no contact with people in the Mediterranean. That's ridiculous. When ancient mounds of the American Midwest are examined, they show the existence of a
that's almost a pyramid. That's almost a pyramid. I bet you under that grass, there's rocks, and they were in the middle of a pyramid, and then they stopped. Ow, hit my hand. Ow, eat the pyramids.
Complex culture. Cities larger than those in Europe at the time. They also show burials of extremely tall people, sometimes 7 or 8 feet tall. When the Spiro mounds were excavated in the 1930s, 7 and 8 foot tall skeletons were found, at a time when the average height of a human male was about 5'6". Those skeletons have been lost. In 1892, stone coffins were discovered in Alabama by Frank Burns during a geological survey. The coffins were about 7.5 feet long, hollowed out by fire and metal chisels. The findings were sent to the Smithsonian.
Hit my
In
little cat lamp, you
1984,
guys got
this
me.
report was found by researcher Frederick J. Pohl. He asked the Smithsonian about this. They said, "We have not been able to find the specimens in our collections, though records show that they were received."
Well, how do you lose giant stone coffins?
That weighed several tons? I don't know.
And never underestimate the incompetence of the federal government.
8 years later, the Smithsonian said they found the coffins, but they were stored in a warehouse that was contaminated by asbestos, so nobody could go in there to see them. During World War II, a crew was building an airship in Alaska. They excavated a mound that had gigantic human remains, skeletons twice or 3 times the size of a normal human. This report has been confirmed by multiple sources. The Smithsonian collected the findings, and that was the last anyone heard about it. There are stories like this from Alaska all the way down to Mexico City.
But not
An amazing
Wyoming.
discovery is made, the Smithsonian steps in, the story disappears. The saying, "skeletons in your closet," means you have secrets you don't want revealed. Secrets that, if discovered, would be embarrassing and possibly dangerous. In the case of the Smithsonian, skeletons in the closet could be taken literally, but the government literally
Imagine
has
being
evidence.
like, oh my gosh, I don't want to show the public these giant bones. I can't show them. I'd be too shy. I'd be too embarrassed. They can never know. Like if that embarrassment was the, no, they can never know that we have giants living among us. Oh my gosh, it's so embarrassing. They're
that
just
an
anime
advanced
girls.
race was in North America
Anime girls.
long before the native tribes arrived. Evidence they don't want revealed. Mainstream science says this is nonsense, but the Hopi and other Grand Canyon tribes do believe this. The Hopi say that when the first people emerged from the Grand Canyon, they sent a message to the Temple of the Sun asking for a blessing of peace. That messenger hasn't returned. But even today in Hopi villages, at sundown, tribal elders can be seen on rooftops, gazing toward the setting sun, waiting for the messenger to come home. And when he does, the ancient land will be returned to the first people. Now that's an optimistic belief. The United States spent 200 years taking land from the first people. You really think they're gonna give it back?
Too spicy!
Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. My name is AJ, that's Hecklefish. This has been the Wild.
Go back to my room! Yeah, don't understand it. Today was so fun! We got real fun. I hope you know. I just do this because I think it's fun. Okay? And I don't want anyone to watch this and think that I'm being genuine. You remember pyramid? You caught me! I actually live inside of a pyramid. That's how I know the truth of them all. All pyramids. There's some facts in there, but it really is just a lot of fun, you know? Don't take any of these things. Don't take any of these things as my real thoughts, okay? I have to say it. I think that it's fun. I think it's interesting learning about different things. Okay. You know, black cars in my house. Run! They found you! They found you! You don't believe in it? I believe that the world is a mysterious place. And because I am a demon, honestly, I already know the truth. But I can't just tell you everything. You know? You know? Aliens are out there. They are. But is all of this true? Are people just finding giant bones everywhere? Are people making time travel through iron lung tubes? No. Demons are real though. Not just any demons, but especially this demon. I'm real. I'm real. I'm right here. I'm right here. Maybe that makes me the best demon. Maybe that makes me the best demon. Nah? Nah? Yeah. I'm the best demon. I'm the best demon. You'll never find any other demon that's as great as Reina. Don't spray me! No! I'm not sure. Who said that? Cody? You are thin ice, Cody. Thin ice, Cody. But yes, thank you for hanging out with me today. I know it wasn't very long. About 2 hours. But I had fun. I had fun getting conspiratorial. And I will see you soon, I guess. I'll see you tomorrow, I guess. You're gonna come hang out with me tomorrow, right? Tomorrow, we'll just do a vote on what you guys want to do. Something unrelated to the stream, but still related to you. Yeah, sure. What's up? What's up? Yeah, thank you. been very fun. Mom. You won't be here tomorrow the next 3 weeks? Ah, thanks, Noodle. We'll see you when you get back. We'll see you when you get back. It's okay. What are you doing? Not because I think you're cute and fun. There's no way distinction between the benefits a tier brings and what all the perks are. Oh! Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. I see what you mean. But yeah, I get it because it says the tier includes everything in the previous ones, and then what's included, it mentions it again, right? Is that what you mean? So, in case you guys didn't know, we moved to Patreon. Actually, yeah, as of today, we moved to Patreon, and we moved because Sandbox is really limited in what you could do. I've talked about it a little bit so far, but Sandbox, like, I couldn't really organize my files very well. Labeling things are really confusing. And then on top of that, if we wanted to add extra tiers, like I wanted to add more things to my tiers for you guys. And I wasn't able to because it only lets you go up to 10,000 yen. And well, I think that that's fine. I think that, like, I wanted the option to go above and beyond and do stuff like, you know, like my handmade merch and everything. Just something that I wanted to do, and I didn't want that. Like, it takes me like hours and hours to do that. It also takes hours and hours to make the merch, because we're gonna have other merch for my higher tier too that's not just handmade, and that takes like resources, you know. So that's why I personally needed it to be more than 10,000 yen. But I think that when it comes to the pricing, I wanted to try to make it more worth it. That's why I redid some things. I'm not really sure how big the difference is between the yen and the US dollar. I think they just, like, 10,000 yen's about $100. 20,000 yen's about $200, that kind of thing. I think that's really just what went into it. So I'm not really sure. The pricing may change if it proves to be difficult. But I think that that's why the pricing is the way that it is. Yeah, I'm just saying, I think that that's what, like, they were just doing it like 10,000 to 100, because I think that maybe not now, that's not what the currency is, but like typically, like, I feel like that's usually where they round. Like, even for our budgets, when it comes to our budgets, and sometimes that's how they round things. They don't really do an exact conversion. Usually just like 10,000 to 100, that kind of thing. So, I mean, if you don't want to get the higher tiers, you guys don't have to. I'm not at all expecting like anything out of that. I even just wanted to see who would even want those kinds of before I started putting so much time into doing the handmade merch. So if it's just for supporting me, I have to get the higher tier. That's not something that I want to force anyone to do. That's not something that I'm expecting anyone to do. If you want to do just the $5 one, or the $25 one or whatever, like feel free to only do that. I'm not like, give me $200. I would. That's not at all what I'm saying. It takes me a long time to make my merchandise. So for that price, that is what I don't think I'll be changing that, because it took him like 10, 12 hours just for one. So I don't wanna not have, like, I want it to be like, if it's like paying per hour kind of thing, I kind of would like for my handmade stuff to be higher. But you guys can do whatever you want, or you can switch it up every month, or you don't have to. I'm just grateful anyone wants to do anything at all to show their support. So please don't feel like you have to. You were saving, but that means you got less. I mean, I don't really. I'm just grateful for any amount. I'm just explaining why I think that I won't be changing the price of my stuff. That's pretty much the only thing that I think is even really that like that involved. Yeah. So I mean, choose a lower tier. I don't mind at all. You guys just want to do something. So I'm not like, I don't know. I hope that answers your question. But yeah, feel free to join me on Patreon or not. Whatever you want to do, whatever you're comfortable with. Hi, Dougie, welcome. Thanks so much for coming. I'll try to see if I can make the descriptions less confusing, because it does look like it's a little bit confusing. I'll try to see if I can talk to management about that. But yeah, that's it. And if you ever have any other questions, I mean, you can always feel free to ask me. But yeah, I hope that makes sense for some of you. You join it for next month? I mean, if you want to. I'm just, like I said, I'm just happy anyone wants anything at all. That's it. Does additional Patreon stream mean more than one? Yeah, so and you join for $5, you get an extra stream, the Reina stream. If you were to join at the other tier, it's another stream. So you would get 2 streams. Why is banana classified as a berry? I think something to do with the seeds, the way the seeds grow in the banana. But most bananas don't have seeds anymore. That's because they're genetically modified. Isn't there something saying that like one banana, like all bananas you eat are like a copy of like one banana? Something that went around. Did I miss the conspiracies? Yeah, you missed the conspiracy. You missed the conspiracy. I'm sorry. Yeah. Does the $5 and $2 means? Yeah, if you round up, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. If you just round up. The 3D printer. Yeah, and don't most bananas not have like any nutritional value either? Or something like that. As a tomato, fruit, and not a vegetable, also down to the seeds. It all comes down to the seed. Ew, I hate banana flavor. Bleh, 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 gross. Bleh, bleh. Bleh. Bleh, bleh. Sorry, that's just a fun noise to make. I am a toddler. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go now. I hope that you had fun with me getting conspiratorial. I hope that you eat well, rest well, stay hydrated, you're being the best you can be. And every day. And hugs, 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 hugs. Demon, cha, demon, cha, 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 demon.